Hello and welcome to this video. So in this video we are going to take a look at the custom washer preferences in Connect. So I'm going to open the job first. And under the optional section you will find custom washer preferences. Okay, so in the custom washer preferences you will have aliases and bolt assembly. So what this means is the bolt assembly is a name in Connect and the alias is a name inside Tekla. How you translate that name into a Tekla name. So that name in the left hand side is a bolt standard in Tekla. In the bolt catalog you will find the bolt standard and bolt size inside Tekla, and this section is for the bolt standard name. So here is how you can relate the bolt assembly in Connect, the custom one you define, with the Tekla bolt standard. To explain this naming, I'm going to give you an example. So if we look at this picture here, we have a bolt and we have washer 1, washer 2, and we have washer 3 and washer 4, and we have the bolt. It can be TC or heavy hexagonal bolt, and on the washers, washer number 1 can be plain or thick, washer number 2 it can be either of those option, plain or thick, or 5/16 or 3/8. Washer 3 it can be DTI washer or other washer, washer 4. So in order to define the number of washers you want to use with each bolt type and the type of washers you want to use, you have this table below here. So what you need to do is to choose first the bolt diameter. Let's say 3/4 bolt or 1-inch bolt, for example. Let me try 1-inch bolt. The standard A490. The bolt type, I'm gonna use TC bolt. The strengths may be for slip critical, field bolt, field or shop or any, so I'm going to choose field. The Connect material yield strength, is it less than 40 KSI? Say no. Then in the hole type, in the connected parts, so the parts 1 and part 2, so the hole type, let's say standard holes in both of them. Here you have your washers. So the washer type 1, I'm going to choose none. Washer type 2, I'm going to choose a plain washer. Washer type 3, I'm going to choose also a plain washer. So I'm going to use 2 washers, and washer 4 none. So you see here, this is a bolt assembly name. So start with Q, which is the Connect prefix. Then you have A490 slip critical A. Then you have TC bolt, tension control. Then you have plain washers, 2 plain washers, PP. And then you have N, which is non washer number. The last washer N means no, none. So 2 washers only. Then I can go and map this name, which means I can select here Q, A490 slip critical A, and I'm gonna use TC bolt, and I'm gonna use PPN. That's the name I want to use. And for this name, I can map it with the Tekla standard. So I'm gonna use A490 slip critical A TC. For example, this is the Tekla standard I want to use. And then you click on save. So this way you have mapped your the bolt here, which is A490 TC bolt, that you want to use 2 washers, and also you have mapped it to the Tekla catalog that you want to use. So based on the bolt standard you define in Tekla, you can relate it to this one. And that's it. That's how you can do the mapping of your bolts. You can do for multiple bolt types if you want. If you want to remove, you can select the row and remove it, and remove that name here. By default, you will find the normal bolts are already defined. So the A325 heavy hexagonal bolt is A325N, TC is, those are the bolts with normal washers. For A325 and A490, you will find them mapped here. If you have a DTI washer, you will find it already mapped. So you have already the standard one mapped between the bolt assembly catalog in Connect and in Tekla between them. If you want to define a new bolt with custom washers, you can define it in the table below and map that name here within Tekla name. So that's it about this video. I know that in Tekla that the number of washers are different than the standard, so most probably you will only define the DTI ones like this, but the normal ones, even here it has one plain washer. You don't need to type it, because in Tekla you have the option to tick how many washers you want to use. Only if you are using custom washers like thick washers or DTI washers, you may need to define the bolt catalog for it in Tekla and map it here and do this process. That's it, and thank you for watching this video.